So let's get started now. What we studied last time? Only conflict of interest. Okay, 7 I guess. 7 or 8? 7. Today I'll give you one more. Which were the 7? Video देखा? Very good. Tell now. Last one. What is conflict of interest? Okay, good. And what are those conflicts? Or not revising? 7, 8. So tell, at least tell 3. Huh? Huh? Okay. Huh. Transparency versus confidentiality. Yes. Loyalty. Yes, yes. Okay. Okay. So today, ethical dilemma. See, all those 7 have been given. Use them in ethical dilemma also. It's not watertight. The conflict of interest only you write. Mold it and write for ethical dilemma also. Okay. What is ethical dilemma? Dilemma double L, I guess. Please check the spelling. It's dilemma. Single, eh? Double M. Dilemma. Okay. Dilemma. What is ethical dilemma? Confusion is a result of it. Ethical dilemma. But what is ethical dilemma? Better framing, I guess. At least ethical, you know. At least dilemma, you know. Break this. And dilemma happens, yes, more or less, when two values are at loggerheads or they are at conflict and situation is challenging. But also you have to ensure you have to choose one. There will be a compromise of one value over that another value. Understood? I'll explain. 2 or more. First is 2 or more values or ethical values are at loggerheads. So, or in conflict, if you don't want to use complicated word. First situation should be this: 2 or more values are at conflict, are at loggerheads. They are fighting with each other. Versus public interest versus order. Transparency versus confidentiality. Values are loggerhead. And second, situation is challenging. Situation is challenging. And further, a choice is necessary. You have to make one choice. Fourth, there will be compromise. The decision has to be made and one value will be compromised. One value or more than one value. If there are 3 more values at loggerheads, one value will be compromised. This is ethical dilemma. Understood? What is ethical dilemma? When first situation should be that two values are at loggerheads, they are conflicting. Then situation is challenging. Also, you need to make a decision. Decision is necessary. And when you make a decision, there will be compromisation of one value over the other. Many things we discuss, many confidentiality versus secrecy, and then loyalty versus merit, objectivity, neutrality versus compassion. These are all values who are at loggerheads. Choose one. One will be compromised. That is ethical dilemma. Understood? What is ethical dilemma? Or a conflict. If you want to use simple words, use simple words. Then situation is challenging. Situation is also challenging. Okay, this is there, then ethical dilemma won't happen. Because you have to make a choice also. When choice is made, and result will be one value is compromised. Public interest versus order from the politician. Then one value will be compromised. That as ethics, civil servants' values is what? To follow the ministerial orders, because there is ministerial responsibility and civil services anonymity. What is that? MRNCA. What is MRNCA? Ministerial responsibility, civil service and anonymity. Explain someone. This was discussed yesterday. Okay.
And civil servants are directly contracted. And civil servants are directly accountable.
Yes, through the parliament, not through the media. So they have to maintain anonymity in their working. There's a popular saying. What is that popular saying? Yes, observe how politics works without being indulging in politics. We also know further application that in election they should not show which party they are voting, etc. That is how ethical dilemma happens then. Okay. Many case studies in UPSC have come on ethical dilemma. You go and check past year papers. This case study will be there. One case study, I guess, medical treatment was required, 1 lakh rupees was something, then medical treatment can't be provided, what you will do. Then one food grains needs to be distributed, one old woman is not a beneficiary but she needs. Then also ethical dilemma. You have to open up this. Just don't write. You have to write technical words also. Because it is mentioned in syllabus. Okay, ethical dilemma is clear. Now, why ethical dilemma happens? Why it happens? Yes, job profile is complex, but also more refined answers I am looking for. But why? That is ethical dilemma. Why it happens? Yes, we have to implement policies because many times rules and regulations are not clear. That's why ethical dilemma happens. Yes, so ethical dilemma will happen. Laws has lot of loopholes. Rules has a lot of loopholes. One law was framed, I guess, to protect animals or something, and it ended up putting harm to animals. I'm not able to remember exact law. So that's why there is lot of loopholes. So laws are not clear. Also, second, goals of civil service is what? To promote public interest, ensure social justice. But there is also need to maintain order. So that goals and profile of civil services comes into conflict. There is inherent conflict. We know how Weberian bureaucracy is against democracy. Because of what? It promotes bureaucratic attitude. But democracy needs democratic attitude. That is also inherently issue. Because of that, ethical dilemma happens. Also, there is a society is ever evolving. Society keeps on changing. Very dynamic situation. But rules are seldom updated regularly. So in dynamic society, new things, new dimensions happen to come. Then ethical dilemma happens. Previously, few years back, LGBTQ was, yes, it was clear that it is not proper, but society evolved. Now civil servant who is recruited from that era may feel this is wrong. So ethical dilemma happens now. Freedom versus that we know section 377 was there. Which to implement. Society keeps changing, dynamism keeps happening. Ethical dilemma happens then. Also some Indian specific situations due to which ethical dilemma happens. Indian polity, a unique polity. How ethical dilemma is happening there? Yes, stratified is. Yes, there's very diversified society, very diverse. Yes, morality, etc. But more precisely, there is nexus corruption. Ethical dilemma will happen. I gave you example. You enter this institution, highly corrupt institution, and you will be appointed as a boss here. Suppose everyone here is corrupt. Minister too is. Yeah, then total dilemma. What are you going to do? One example, yes, Radha was a secretary in Maharashtra Agriculture Ministry. She was removed from the organization. She came from Niti Aayog. She went first to Niti Aayog, deputation, came to Agriculture Ministry. Within 1 month, she was transferred. Opposition allied. She refused to give sanction to corrupt practices of that ministry. Then yes, dilemma here also. See that dilemma. Also, we also talked about how much you should tolerate also. Threshold of tolerance. So she tolerated. She didn't go to media crying that I have been transferred within a month. She didn't complain also anywhere, I guess. Silence. That is also right. In Hindu it's coming, I guess yesterday it came, today I read some local newspapers, there it is mentioned. All this can be helpful in your examples, enriching the answer. Radha, IS, Agriculture Minister, Agriculture Secretary in Ministry of Agriculture, Maharashtra government. So yes, that followed, she tolerated that. Yes, but you can see within 1 month she was transferred, within 1 or 2 months. There is no stability of tenure is 2 years, tenure for ISPs. So maintain neutrality. Didn't go out to the media, whistleblowing, etc. Example we were discussed. Now also there is this politicization of bureaucracy. Criminalization of politics happens, then it leads to politicization of bureaucracy. Criminalization of bureaucracy is also a resultant. Criminalization of politics leads to politicization of bureaucracy, and resultant is criminalization of bureaucracy. Now, you know all this, or should I explain how this happens? Criminalization of politics, we know how it happens. Neta Babu Lala. Lala becomes good Chota Gunda. Then elections. Then he becomes a minister. Criminalization of politics, we also gave you data, I guess 30%, 34%, and now 43% and 46. 40 and 43. This is 17th Lok Sabha, 18th. 18th Lok Sabha, 17th, 16th and 15th Lok Sabha. 18, 17, 16, 15, 30%, 34%, 40%, and 43%. See this, according to ADR, this many parliamentarians have criminal background. This is criminalization of politics. Now criminals enter the political arena. Ministers, they become ministers. They will appoint their own bureaucrats. Bureaucrats, they will ask to do work, manage my black money, etc. So it happens, what happens then? Politicization of bureaucrats. And in the end, police ends up protecting the minister because they are bound. So police is protecting criminals. So criminalization of bureaucracy also happens. I gave you example, a minister, suppose an criminal stays in jail for several months, then becomes a minister of jails only, home minister. Then every police officer, everyone will salute him. Secretary will give advice. So criminalization of bureaucracy also happens this way. This is unique. See, then ethical dilemma then. If you are secretary, what you will do? That is also then dilemma. Yes, that way it is criminalization of bureaucracy, because they are also helping him to in all that his business, other businesses, to manage the business indirectly also, many do directly. So they also give ideas how to launder your money. You know what is money laundering? Laundering, you know, washing machine. You have dirty money. Rupees. They are dirty like black money. और इसको तो वाइट कर नहीं सकते, बैंक में पूछेंगे पैन कार्ड ये सब. तो यहाँ पे शेचेस चले जाओ तुम, या मॉरिशस चले जाओ, या केमन आइलैंड चले जाओ. यहाँ पे पैसा कैसे भी लेके जाओ तुम. वुल्फ ऑफ वॉल स्ट्रीट देखिए, वहाँ पे वो कैसे पैसे सब टेप से बांध के लेके जाते. तो वहाँ लेके जाओ. यहाँ पे एक कंपनी खोलो, छोटी सी शेल कंपनी, बस एक रूम ले लो कि वी हैव वेरी बिग कंपनी, दे अलाउ, दे आर वेरी कोऑपरेटिव, टैक्स 7. तो यहाँ से दिखाओ, यहाँ से तुम फिर इंडिया इन्वेस्टमेंट लेके आओ, एफडीआई आगे हो गया व्हाइट मनी. और ये वॉशिंग मशीन, ये डर्टी मनी, क्लीन मनी. इन्वेस्ट इन रियल एस्टेट, इन्वेस्ट इन प्रोजेक्ट्स. मोस्ट ऑफ द रियल एस्टेट मनी इज दिस. Yes, money laundering. We'll talk about regulatory capture. Many things are there: conflict of interest, lateral entry criticism. Many angles can be opened up there. Quality of regulation, regulatory bodies. Who will regulate the regulatory bodies now? God will regulate. Fear of God. That is also a part of ethics. We'll discuss today. Divine law. Yes, this is also. Then there is presence of casteism, regionalism, communalism. This also many things. Many states are very regionalistic. What are you going to do? Morality versus professional ethics. Morality is a regional sentiment there. Now also some North India also regionalism is coming. Reservation for jobs, locals in jobs, government jobs, or private sector also. This Haryana government once brought that bill. Regionalism. अच्छी चीजें लेनी चाहिए, गलत चीजें लेना नीचे से. Take gender equality, everything from down, but they are taking regionalism from down. So this is also then also ethical dilemma happens. What you will do then? You know, as a secretary, you know this is not proper. Reserving private sector jobs for locals, not proper. Private investment ही नहीं आएगा. Private investment start going to other states. If all states go do this way, they'll go out of India. They work on the principle of, cost plus benefit. Benefit should be more than cost. It doesn't matter from where you get money. That's why many MNCs which were manufactured in United States once have outsourced to other countries. That's why Trump says, make America great again. America first, like India first, make in India, make in America. But America more is service oriented. Services, technology, everything. All big innovations in this world happens here in technological sphere. So that is, manufacturing is not much needed for them. Manufacturing is needed for a country where majority of the population is in agriculture. So excess labor from agriculture cannot go directly to services. Services require skills, very high skills you require, like computers, laptops. Many services, banking services need skills. These skills can be transferred to manufacturing, not moderate level skills are required. So यहाँ से excess labor यहाँ आएगा, फिर ये यहाँ से next generation ये services में आएंगी. That's why this link is missing in India. That's why there is overcrowding of agriculture. That was also the intention of farm bills also, but wrongly implemented. Farm bills intended to promote what? Mechanization, also food processing industry. That is also manufacturing. Very easy to move. यहाँ से थोड़ा knowledge तो होता है food processing का, cold storage. This was the intention of farm bills, but it was promoting duopoly. Adani, Ambani, everything they got. I guess there was also some people must be knowing, people from Punjab, Haryana, that they already got lot of land and they intended to, like how is happening in telecom sector duopoly, that agriculture duopoly would have happened. So that intention was not proper according to farmers. So that was, they were protesting. Yes, reforms are needed. So much small lands are there. Land pooling is also missing. So acres. I mean, in US, Western country, 100 acres of this land is there because land pooling, people don't do agriculture. So more land, more efficiency will come, cost will come, and you can move towards processing, etc. Yes, so that's why this manufacturing, this link is missing. That's why a lot of poverty, etc. in India. Most of the laborers in urban areas are agricultural laborers because the rain-flood area, in the non-crop Kharif season ends, they come to this urban areas for do all this work. So casteism, regionalism, everything leads to ethical dilemma. Also, there is absence of good practices of innovation culture. There is absence of separation of mal fide and bona fide errors. The culture is not there. That's why ethical dilemma happens. I know I can go beyond the law, beyond the rules and take good decision, quality decision. But there is a fear of that 5 C's. So that's why people remain in ethical dilemma, whether we need to go or no. If culture of this is promoted, then there won't be ethical dilemma. To a certain extent, it will be reduced. Yes, we said also, Prime Minister came in 2014, he said, you take risk, I will protect you. I guess on Civil Services Day. So that way he was trying to promote that culture of innovation. But we don't know what happened after that. So, this is all the factors which are responsible for ethical dilemma. Now, how to deal with this? At least we should be able to tell now. Many things, many water is gone down the river, lot of water is gone. Lot of ethics is gone in your brains. Approaches, tell some approaches. Approaches or some values. Give some values. There should be selflessness. You follow the rule of law. Yes, good character, intentions, IPC. You remember IPC? भूल गए IPC क्या है? हाँ, right intention, right purpose, consequences. Yes, that is IPC, rule of law. Objectivity you follow. Don't take decisions which are for what? For celebrity status, for popularity. Many people know that only. That they will then, there should also be less prejudices and discrimination in civil servants' mind also. Many people take decision for popularity to gain attention. So then ethical dilemma will keep happening. I told you one video of Maharashtra's how she was standing there and camera came and she came here. Gaining attention. Wrong intentions. Nevertheless, I think civil servants should, most of the times, should be bound by the law. Follow the law. In most of the times, because it gives some clarity for decisions. Because law has a moral background. We know how law has a moral background, how law and ethics overlaps. Tell how it overlaps. How? Yes, exactly. We discuss how Thomas Hobbes' social contract between state and people. So they have a moral authority, state. And state makes law. So law becomes the basis of decision. The law is also has moral compass. People's representative have made laws. Also, many times law also gives you protection also. It protects your malintentions. It avoids you taking decisions on malintentions. Okay, you have good intentions. Okay, fine. But there should also be bona fide and mala fide distinction. But if person has bad intention, acting per law will automatically ensure ethical act or according to the civil services values. That's why there should be this dilemma happens. Clarity of law should be there. Civil servant, we know righteous character. First question we wrote is righteous character should be there, and also conscience. Conscience, right process of socialization. We discuss conscience. Conscience character, inner feeling of what is good or bad. That is conscience. So conscience is right, then decisions will be right. Ethical dilemma will be minimized. Also, further it can also lead to another dilemma. Constitutional morality versus which? Social morality, social norms. This is also one dilemma. You write down ethical dilemma first. Otherwise, there will be too much things to write. Ethical dilemma. See, you can also present this way. Ethical dilemma. Better way of presenting. Plus values are see, when question comes in ethical dilemma, question is something very complex. Then you will write introduction according to the question. And if you want to explain ethical dilemma, explain this way. It will take less space. Rather than writing this, you will write 4, 5, 6, 7 lines, I guess. This small, it's this much time is the other way of presenting things. So there you will also have then give space in the answer to give a holistic view. Otherwise, you'll write too much background. Write down ethical dilemma. When two or more civil services values, when two or more civil services values compete against each other, compete against each other, and the situation is relatively challenging, and the situation is relatively challenging, situation is relatively challenging, in which civil servant has to make a decision between the competing values. Yes, civil servants has to make a decision between the competing values. And under such decision, one of the values will get compromised. Under such decision, वो सेंटेंस क्या लिखा था? And the resultant decision, see, I am framing it differently now. If your values will get compromised. Okay, I'll write down and bring. That's the problem of dictating with structuring in mind. It's easier to write down and dictate. Next time I'll write down everything. That is right. That is now right. That is put one first. Values should compete against each other. Values should compete against each other. Values should compete against each other. Right. Second, situation should be challenging. Third, choice has to be made. Fourth, there will be a compromise on some values. You can go home and check some case studies also regarding ethical dilemma. Try to practice it. I'll also make you practice some. But case studies which I have designed are very like the difficult trend case studies. That's why I will give you gradually. Otherwise, you'll get afraid and stop writing altogether. Initially, I'll try to find some easy case studies also. See, some people who are writing, they stopped coming also when we started writing questions. They'll come after some day. Then again we give questions, they stop coming. Now write factors due to which ethical dilemma may happen. Factors, next topic, factors due to which ethical dilemma may happen. At first, law may not be clear. Law may not be clear to guide a way out of the situation. Law may not be clear to guide a way out of the situation. Second, goals of social justice, public interest, goals of social justice, public interest, upholding the spirit of the Constitution, may go against the Weberian ethos, may go against the Weberian ethos, may go against the Weberian ethos or right civil services values. Okay, Weberian ethos, if it's one, of following orders from the political representative. Following orders from the political representative. Next, dynamic nature of the society. Dynamic nature of the society. The society keeps on changing. Around some India specific situations. Now, some give heading, some India specific situation which leads to ethical dilemma. Some India specific situations which leads to ethical dilemma. Right, first, nexus and corruption. Nexus and corruption, some India specific situation which leads to ethical dilemma. First, nexus and corruption. Second, criminalization of politics, politicization of bureaucracy, criminalization of politics, politicization of bureaucracy, and criminalization of bureaucracy. Criminalization of politics, politicization of bureaucracy, and ultimately criminalization of bureaucracy. Next, socio-economic factors such as casteism, regionalism, communalism. Socio-economic factors such as casteism, communalism, regionalism. Casteism, communalism, regionalism. Next, absence of culture. That do not recognize risk taking, innovation. Absence of culture that do not recognize risk taking, innovation, bona fide errors, not bona fide, bona fide errors. Bona fide errors. Bona fide errors, errors which are made with good intention. Intention was good, but error happened. Bona fide errors, mala fide error means you already had a very bad intention. This also results in malfeasance, overfeasance, and misfeasance. Now the values, right? Next subheading: values that should guide civil servant when facing ethical dilemma. Values that should guide civil servants when faced with ethical dilemma. Selflessness. Now write some values: selflessness, rule of law, following rule of law, selflessness. Following rule of law, impartiality, objectivity, rationality, public interest, now at IPC, intention, write only intention and consequences. Purpose, circumstances may not come, intention and consequences. When civil servants face dilemma, his or her action, or right, their action. When civil servant faces dilemma, his or her action must have absence of any ulterior motive or right wrong motive. Absence of ulterior motive, such as getting popularity, seeking attention, discrimination and prejudice, at the same time for civil servants, law should remain the main guiding path. At the same time, for civil servants, law should remain the main guiding path. As, right, first point, law gives protection to civil servants. Second, gives legitimacy to action. Next, law has moral force. Okay. That does not mean. Yes. Now, conclude that points. That does not mean law should be followed only in letter. And not in spirit. That only in letter and not in spirit. That does not mean the law should be followed only in letter, not in spirit. If you want to write in a positive way, write this way. Law should be followed in letter, or should be followed in spirit also, rather than only in letter. I will explain this. Wait. This is writing in a negation way. Negate something, negative becomes positive. So both negative statements we have written, not in letter also, but once not in spirit. Should not be followed in letter, should not be followed in letter, negative, and not in spirit. So two negatives make positive. This is a negation sentence. Otherwise, you can write in positive way. Should be followed in spirit, not just in letter. Due to many factors, such as nexus corruption, due to many factors such as nexus, understand nexus, a partnership for doing something bad things. Nexus, corruption and lack of support for innovation. The many factors such as nexus, corruption and lack of support for innovation. The trend is only to follow the law in letter and not in spirit. The trend is to follow the law only in letter and not in spirit. Constitutional morality versus social morality or social norms. What is constitutional morality? That is constitution. Achha. Following constitution is constitutional morality. Here, what is constitutional morality? Constitution pata hai? What is morality? Wait, everyone is learning. People are new. Constitution पता है ना क्या? तो इसका morality क्या हो सकता? ट्राई करो थोड़ा आ जाए. बताओ नेक्स्ट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. सबका सुन गया अपना बताएं. Morality, constitution. Values of freedom of religion, the freedom of religion. Article 350, national emergency, follow national emergency. What is follow constitution letter in letter? Huh? The following constitution in letter. जैसा है वैसा ही. Later only, huh?
So, combined spirit and
It's constitutional morality. अभी टाइम हो गया. Okay, some are in the right track. That is following the essence of the constitution. What the intention of the constitutional maker was. That is constitutional morality. Following the constitution is constitution. And constitutional morality will be essence. What is the essence? Intention of constitutional makers. That is following constitution in letter and spirit, not just in letter. Following letter can also lead to misuse. Misuse of Article 352. You know 352 national emergency. How this was misused? I guess. Yes, भावनाओं के साथ. Yes. So in Article 352 there was what? Internal disturbance, I guess, before. Internal disturbance tha. So internal disturbance, constitutional maker's intention was that something which is rebellion happens. That is okay. How Indira Gandhi ji interpreted it? It interpreted in terms of opposition. So not constitutionally morality was not there. Later, I guess 44th amendment replaced this with armed rebellion. Okay. So that is letter and spirit. Understand? Constitution was followed that time, but not in the spirit. That is constitutional morality was not there. This is constitutional morality. This can come in conflict with social morality. We know morality is norms, social norms. Morality, we know what is it is. Something which is very moral to that particular society. That comes many times comes in conflict with constitutional morality. Many examples, Sabrimala issue, Supreme Court started to use this word constitutional morality. Sabrimala issue, you know, woman was stopped from entering temple. Then some people are saying it comes under Article 25, essential practice of a religion. So then it's against constitutional morality. Constitutional morality is freedom of expression, right to life with dignity, Article 21. That also comes. So Supreme Court, I guess, allowed Sabrimala temple. Yes, it allowed. Some movement went also. This is then how it comes at loggerheads. Which to follow now? Constitutional morality or social norms? Jallikattu another example, and one more example. I know recent example I give. Yes. That is also that time it interpreted that High Court Madurai bench in Article 25 that it is essential practice of that religion or that society. So social morality is there. But against constitutional morality, very essence of the constitution is not followed. So this also ethical dilemma happens here also. Which to follow? Liberty, equality or freedom. Similarly, regionalism, as said, it can be moral in some societies. Then it is not against, but it is against constitutional morality. But constitution is also, I guess, there are some sections which allows, I guess, reservation for jobs also. Some lower, I guess, in HK region, some they have 371D or something is there. That 371D. Yes, 371 some rights are there. HK region, etc. Hyderabad, Karnataka region, they can preserve some jobs for locals also there in public services. So then again question arises, constitutional morality versus social morality. So this again dilemma happens here. What to follow, it becomes difficult for civil servant. So this is a constitutional morality and social morality. In social morality we have talked in detail. Constitutional morality was left to explain. Write down these minor aspects. Later we'll do a major topic. Letter. Letter. Whatever is given in the constitution, consider that letter. We follow that letter. Article 1, that is letter. In spirit means essence. Essence and intention of the constitutional maker. That is the spirit of any law or any Constitution, following rules and laws in letter and spirit. You follow letter wise also and in spirit also. It is generally said Constitution and law is a skeleton. Then you have to, the rules are made by the executive through delegated legislation. You know delegated legislation? पता है? Okay, I'll explain. See, Parliament make laws. जहाँ तक पता है, they can't give each and every minor aspect of each law. They give only broader dimensions of law because lack of time, don't have expertise. Think tank is bureaucracy. So broader dimensions are given. This becomes a law. Bill is can pass. First reading, second reading, third reading. Bill gets passed. Then bureaucracy or the executive will give details of this law. This is called a delegated legislation. That legislative powers has been assigned to the bureaucracy. There is also a committee on subordinate legislation in the parliament to keep a check on this so that servants doesn't become the master and it doesn't stifle that democracy. That is delegated legislation. So they will make this in skeleton form, and it is the role of the bureaucracy to put flesh in it. Understand flesh? That flesh has been provided. Also, constitution is in skeleton form. Flesh has been provided by rules, regulation, and laws. So that's why you follow, while putting the flesh, you follow in spirit also, not just in letter. While executing also, follow this in spirit as well as letter as well as spirit. Like UK doesn't have a constitution only. Then total letter and spirit. That's why it's a very mature democracy. Western democracy is very mature democracy. There you may not find all this misuse of power, etc. As we know, they have participative culture there. People are also aware. We have mix of all the three cultures. Okay. Constitutional morality deals with values. Values of the Constitution. Constitutional morality deals with the values of the Constitution, such as liberty, equality, fraternity, freedom. That is, to what extent liberty, equality, fraternity, freedom, that is, to what extent the essence of the Constitution is being followed. That is, to what extent the essence of the Constitution is being followed. And it is the duty of civil servants to uphold constitutional morality. But because of social norms of the society, which is also known as social morality, Constitutional morality comes at loggerheads. Comes at loggerheads or right conflict with social morality. Example, Sabrimala issue. Women were denied entry. Example, Sabrimala issue. Women were denied entry. Adherence to this social morality could result in dilemma for civil servant. Adherence to this social morality could result in the dilemma for civil servant. As it is a kind of discrimination. As it is a kind of discrimination. Although, in ultimate sense, constitutional morality should prevail over social morality. In ultimate sense, constitutional morality should prevail over social morality. Next topic, this laws, rules, regulation and conscience as a source of ethical guidance. As a source of guidance. Because it is rights were upheld by the Supreme Court. No, but it was promoting discrimination. So Supreme Court view prevailed over that.
So it was against the social
It was, yes, it was for social morality against constitutional morality. Social morality was promoting discrimination, yes. And constitutional morality, what our constitution says. Liberty, equality, fraternity is given in the preamble. Further, the fundamental rights amplifies this. Okay, now this topic, what is law? Yes, ordinance of reason, but ordinance of reason, a statement of fact made by the legislature. Now, law, three types. Divine law, or canon law, human law, and natural law. Thomas Aquinas, we'll discuss, made this classification. Thomas Aquinas is also one moral thinker. We'll discuss. No need to worry. This classification: divine law, human law, canon law, the revelation of God, human law made by people, parliament, natural law, human nature, good. That is part of human nature it talks about. Promoting good. Natural law, yes, can be, but he interprets natural law in terms of positive nature of human being. If positive nature is followed, that law will promote goodness. That is Thomas Aquinas' interpretation. Revelation of God, command of God, revelation. Yes, that only.
Sir,
See, divine law, revelation of God, divine law, canon law, human law, laws made by the people or parliament, natural law, human nature of promoting good. Because Thomas Aquinas interprets the positive nature of human being like others. Thomas Aquinas. He gave this classification. He interprets a positive nature of human being. Just Aristotle, everything interprets a positive nature that he connotes with natural law, that people follow human nature, then promoting good. That is also part of conscience. So let's get started. See, हो गया सबका? Classification is not that important, but his views are important. Okay. So law, we know, is a statement of reason made by the parliament, made by law-making body, that to regulate human behavior. One is law which regulates, another is conscience which regulates human behavior. Conscience guides you. Conscience, inner feeling, what is good, what is bad, that is conscience. Consider this on face value, conscience as of now, we discuss in detail. That guides, law guides human behavior. That everyone knows. Now, what is divine law? It talks about revelation of God. What God says, that is law. That is, in medieval times, it was said, what church says, what the Pope says, that is the law. Law, okay. Before, this is law. Also, before parliament, etc., everything came into being. How our behavior was regulated? Who regulated our behavior? Yes? Who? That was based on who, but? But before also religion, tradition, customs, some customs were there. Yes, nature, customs you used to follow. tradition, customs, that was basis of guiding human behavior. Some customs you must be following. Now the Rakhi is coming, I guess custom. One custom is following, that you are following, giving gifts, etc. That is a custom. That is which this practice became a summation of festival then. Now it's more of a custom celebration, that tradition, everything was following everyone. So that became the source of guidance. Then later what happened? Then, yes, then kings, etc., they formalized these customs. That became law. That became basis of guiding human behavior. And largely religion, before the modern democracy came, religion was the basis of guiding human behavior. Like the Pope rule, the church, what the church used to say, that becomes your law. So that's why we also know how people protested, then Protestant ethic came. So that was law. Then this was basically religion oriented law, divine law. What is revelation of God? Okay. Then came this person, Thomas Aquinas. We know revolutionary people, they don't want control. He says separate this religion and law. Law should not be guided by religion. There should be a state, etc., to make laws and guide human conduct. This he talks about. Then he further says, but he does not totally reject the canon law also. He says state should guide what? People through law. Okay, but but who will guide the state? Who will guide the state? State will make law to guide people. He says no, religion should not guide. There should not be divine or canon law. But who will guide the state? Who will guide the guardians? Who will guard the guardians? Divine law, yes. Fear of God. Fear of God will guide the state. If state does something wrong, God will punish them. That's in India also people say, Bhagwan se daro. Fear of God. That is guiding the state. Also, many times question also comes, who will guard the guardians? Who will guard the guardians? You know guardians? Who is your guardian? In regulatory state is your guardian. SEBI, etc. Regulatory bodies, CAG, CVC is your guardian. They are guarding you against corruption, etc. But who will guard them? We also know how there is a loophole. What about the accountability of CAG, of the PG reports, etc.? Who will guard them? He says, fear of God will guard them. Yes, question arises, who will guard these guardians? How people will? But after 5 years, election will happen. 5 years happen, na? But first year से ही कुछ करने लग गए तो. Okay. Before that, this was this customs, traditions, people, law. After this, religion, people, then he says state, then there will fear of God. Okay. First, customs, traditions that become law to promoting goodness. Then it became streamlined or structured into a religion. People for goodness. Here you can write Pope, Church. Then he broke this, Thomas Aquinas. So there will be state will be primary people for goodness, and state will have a fear of God. God will punish them if they do something wrong. Make this can be helpful for presenting. Sati Pratha was not in religion. It was interpretation, custom, yes. हिंदी में बोलो. It was a custom or social morality. A summation of good practices. Sati was not a good practice. Yes. Which Pratha? Okay. I have not watched One Mouth. क्या क्या होता है इसमें? हाँ. क्यों? अगर राजा हारे. अच्छा अच्छा. So custom है. Yes, wrong socialization. Wrong socialization. क्या क्या है? लिखा है बाइबल में. Interpretation. New Testament आया था. They refined that Bible. That is Old Testament. Reforms. He interprets in a positive way. Positive nature. Fear of God. That time that much understanding was not there. Na? That time. Old times. Fear of God. So this is what he talks about. There should be a fear of God. When that is, he separated religion from law, then there should be fear of God. He did not advocate complete separation. Now human laws are what? Laws made by the humans. That is through parliament. Parliament make human laws. It forms a basis for what? Rules. Laws, parliament. Rules mainly by executive. You know executive? Yes, no. Executive body, that is ministers, bureaucrats, executives. These are made by rules, and this will determine what? Quality of regulation. Quality of regulation will determine what? Quality of governance. That is good governance. Ethical governance. Okay, laws are made by the parliament. It happens then. They will make rules. Rules made by the executive. Executive. These rules will determine how rules have been implemented, will determine the quality of regulation, and quality of regulation will determine quality of governance, which is resultant outcome will be whether there will be presence of good governance or ethical governance. Okay, now many rules have been made, traffic rules, to improve what? Quality of regulation. Many rules are there, SEBI rules, to improve quality of regulation. It determines quality of human behavior. Regulation determines quality of human behavior. What quality of goods and services you are getting. That will determine by quality of regulation. Peace and harmony. The quality of development. This regulation will determine. Strength of the society will be determined by quality of regulation. See, don't write, listen. I'll make you write. That is, understanding is important. If you want time, I'll give you time to write. So, you know how this works. Parliament makes laws in skeleton form. Flesh is put by executive in the form of rules. Minor details it will put. Then, rules will determine quality of regulation, how they have been implemented. Quality of regulation will ensure quality of governance, good governance and ethical governance. Quality of regulation will determine the quality of human behavior, what is it is exhibiting, whether bad human behavior is punished or no, whether good behavior is encouraged or no. Good Samaritan. Have you heard good Samaritan? Yes, many state government schemes that a person, good Samaritan, is awarded, recognized. You're doing someone is in trouble, you go and help him. Someone is in accident, to help him, you are a good Samaritan. That will determine quality of human behavior. Quality of goods and services will be dependent on quality of regulation. If you are getting adulterated food, then lack of quality of regulation, spurious duplicate medicines, absence of quality of regulation. Quality of development will also depend on quality of regulation. Roads have been made, whether the regulatory body, ministry is looking into it, no. If they are auditing it properly, roads will remain smooth. Otherwise, roads will be in potholes. Everywhere potholes, not much problem here. Where it rains, lot of potholes develop. Then quality of regulation will determine everything. Now, recent cases, Delhi incident, 3 people died, absence of quality of regulation. Then SEBI, what? Stock market manipulation, Hindenburg Allied, absence of quality of regulation. That is human behavior not proper. Also, many things keep happening. Yes, the recent Kolkata case of that sad incident of that doctor, absence of quality of police regulation. See the nexus, the police was first claiming that she committed suicide, then pressure mounted, then now CBI case. See, absence of quality of police regulation, absence of proper implementation. So, if there is no quality of regulation, how can there be quality governance, good governance or ethical governance? So, that is human laws. Should make proper laws. World Bank, what World Bank says? India is regulated lightly, not tightly. Too much regulation and too little regulation. Too much regulation means too many rules, regulation, too many regulatory bodies, but too little regulation. Regulation is not effective. So much scams, etc. happen. Quality of regulation is very low. That it says you should regulate lightly but tightly. This is what it is. Also, significance of laws is very important. Law makes right, promotes right conduct. But if law is not been implemented properly, then people will stop becoming law abiding. Example, whenever you suppose take a loan, you default. Minor, you take loan 5-10 lakh rupees or few thousand rupees, you default. They will come to your home, confiscate that security, whatever you are given. But when Vijay Mallya ji takes loan, he escapes. Then you will also think, why should I be law abiding and keep giving EMIs, etc. Also, now it has come to light that public sector banks have charged 8,000 crores, I guess, collected 8,000 crores in 5 years. 5 years for not maintaining minimum deposit in the accounts from poor people. Minimum we have to maintain, I guess, 500 some rupees. 8,000 crores have been recovered by PSBs in penalties, and there is government who gives loan waivers to corporates. So why should we be punished? And people will question, why law only for us? Why law not for the poor and the rich? People will stop abiding law. But in most of the law is very significant. Without law, how you can govern? Governance is not possible. There will be total chaos. Law base has a moral basis also. We know how law has a moral basis. Hobbes, social contract. Everyone stops acting like law, then it will be total chaos. Further, what is most significance of law? Many times, in very few instances, that people go unpunished. Majority of the instances, people are punished. Yes, there are few, but majority they are punished. Many people, I guess, in the jail, I guess, that person died, I guess, Sahara scam. Yes, he was in jail also a lot of time. Yes. Harshad Mehta. Now he would have been a Petroid. Now Adani is being promoted to manipulate stock market. So that is the quality of regulation, but law is also very significant. Not everyone is punished. Also, law promotes good habits. Promotes good habits. You follow that law. Law, you follow. People. Law has that moral authority, moral compass or moral authority. You follow good habit. You continuously practice good habits. What will happen? Continuously practicing good habits. Law has that moral authority. P2 on the people. People follows law. Follow law. Don't follow law. People. Bad habit. What will be the result? Yes, character cultivation. Character cultivation. Virtuous person. Wisdom. This also can promote ethics. Bad people don't follow law. Bad character. No wisdom. No happiness. So law is also significant in that way. But that's why there should be a system of governance, quality of regulation, so that everyone gets punished. That becomes the basis of acting in an ethical way. Law becomes the basis of acting in an ethical way. This is how he legitimizes law by the state. Okay, I'll remake this diagram. See, moral authority, parliament. Now, if you want to further extend, do that Hobbes thing here. बहुत बड़ा हो जाएगा फिर. ठीक है. See, people state they have a social contract which gives moral authority to the parliament. Parliament makes laws. If law is followed by the people, then good habit, character cultivation, there will be wisdom, there will be happiness, and there will be ethics. Okay, that is enough. Then parliament, law, people don't follow. Bad habits, bad character, chaos, sadness. इसको हो गया सबका. ये बना लिया था। See, also Aristotle also said significance of law, if law, significance and character of law, that if people are law abiding, they do not need law. And also Plato further gave other interpretation. Good people do not need law. Bad people will find a way around the law. That is what law is. So write down now. Natural law. After writing down, we'll discuss. Self-governance. Yes, you can relate. I was relating him with conscience. Law is a statement of reason. Law is a statement of reason. Statement of reason designed to promote common good in the society. Designed to promote common good in the society. Human conduct is guided by two broad aspects. Law and conscience. Now, right, when society was evolving, it established many traditions, customs, and practices. These became the standards of behavior. And then there was a emergence of law. According to Thomas Aquinas, there are different kinds of law. These are the different kinds of law. Okay. A law which is a revelation of God. Is a revelation of God which is based on religion, belief, is called divine law. Divine law or canon law? The divine law, canon law is the same. Okay. People say God knows everything. God will do justice. Next point. Religion has remained the most important factor for regulating human behavior. Most important factor for regulating human behavior. Most important factor for regulating human behavior. In fact, in the medieval times, there was dominance of theology. Dominance of theology. Dominance of theology. That is Pope rule or church rule. Theology. That is Pope rule or church rule. It was Thomas Aquinas who rejected the theological philosophy and separated law from religion. And separated law from religion. Next point, right? Although he does not advocate complete separation of religion, he does not advocate complete separation of religion. For ethical guidance, as he says, although he does not advocate complete separation of religion for ethical guidance, as he says, state has the moral obligation to govern the people. State has the moral obligation to govern the people. And impose law. But those who govern above them, there is no one to govern. Those who govern above them, there is no one to govern. That is, the state is governing, but above them, who will govern the state? Those who govern above them, there is no one to govern them. Therefore, such people Therefore, such people should have the fear of God. Hence, divine law. This is also called as eternal law. Okay. This is also called as eternal law. Divine law. Or eternal law. Okay. Hence, divine law or eternal law remain among the most important. Remain among the most important remain among the most important source for regulating human conduct. It's important source for regulating human conduct. Now next study human laws. You're heading this is divine law what you have written. Divine law, canon law, eternal law. Human law. Human laws. Governor. But who will govern the parliament? Parliament obstruction is going on. Misuse of powers by the speaker. 169 member of parliaments were suspended in the last Lok Sabha. Who will govern the speaker? Fear of God, constitutional morality, character, conscience. Use it interchangeably. Sometimes you write. If you are adding fear of God, quote Thomas Aquinas. Okay. Otherwise, write conscience, character. Okay. Now yes, character building, moral conscience, moral command, categorical imperative. याद है categorical imperative? नहीं याद है? Very good. Categorical imperative कुछ डिस्कस किया था बहुत सालों पहले. इमैनुअल कांट. That's why revision is important. Things are interconnected. Human laws.
This is called
Yes. Thomas Aquinas. Laws made by the state to regulate human behavior. Laws made by the state to regulate human behavior. In the modern era, the concept of state has emerged. The concept of state has emerged, which has the power modern era, the concept of state has emerged, which has the power to regulate human behavior. The concept of state has emerged, which has the power modern era, the concept of state has emerged, which has the power to regulate human behavior. The concept of state has emerged, which has the power to regulate human behavior. The concept of state has emerged, which has the power to regulate human behavior. The concept of state has emerged, which has the power to regulate human behavior. The concept of state has emerged, which has the power to regulate human behavior. The concept of state has emerged, which has the power to regulate human behavior. The concept of state has emerged, which has the power to regulate human behavior. The concept of state has emerged, which has the power to regulate human behavior. The concept of state has emerged, which has the power to regulate human behavior. The concept of state has emerged, which has the power to regulate human behavior. The concept of state has emerged, which has the power to regulate human behavior. The concept of state has emerged, which has the to frame law and enforce law. To frame the law and enforce the law. State has emerged to frame the law and enforce the law. And every citizen is bound to follow the law. Even if they don't like it. Next point. Within the jurisdiction of law, rules are made. Rules are more flexible than law. Law made by the legislature, rules made by the executive. Right, for your understanding, if you understand, then don't write. Laws made by the state, that is parliament, and rules made by the executive. Laws and rules become the basis of regulating human behavior. That is, it determines the quality of governance. Regulation is the essence of governance. Regulation is the essence of governance. As it determines number one, quality of human behavior. Number two, quality of goods and services. Number three, quality of goods and services. Goods and services. Next, quality of development. The strength of the society. Peace and harmony. Peace and harmony. So here you want to write examples, or you manage. Write example SEBI now, write it brief. Quality of regulation, right? SEBI issue. Then the Delhi incident, right? Delhi drowning of aspirants drowning of aspirants. Then write the recent murder in government hospital. Kolkata rape and murder. GR car hospital, I guess. Yes, it raises a question on the quality of regulation. How you implement those laws in this is how you regulate. पहले implementation था, now after 92 there is a regulation because let market forces play and you just broader regulation. Because before license permit Raj, it was not regulation. It was everything implementation because bureaucracy was everywhere. Now bureaucracy took a back seat after LPG reforms. There is only a regulation. Quality of regulation will determine the quality of governance. That is what World Bank says. India is too much regulation, too little regulation. It says regulate lightly but tightly. You merge many regulatory agencies into one, create one regulatory agency, finance agency, many agencies, SEBI is there, IRDA is there, and lot of there they say make only one. Yes, very long back one committee said financial sector regulatory agency, one big regulatory agency you create. This overlapping may not happen. Because many times they escape regulation also, regulatory escape is also there. You make some amendment changes. If you are under this regulatory body, suppose ADA, you make some changes to a company, you will escape the jurisdiction of this. Now you will come under SEBI. Now they don't have. That is how Sahara scam. I guess Sahara, he was manipulating this way only. He was coming under different agencies. So difficult to regulate, very difficult to cooperate. So one big regulatory agency you create. So that was recommendations. Many things to talk about regulation, but no use here. Okay. Now write significance of law and rules in regulating human behavior. Significance of laws and rules in regulating human behavior. Now some views of thinkers. Aristotle. Law is not needed if people are law abiding. Aristotle, law is not needed if people are law abiding. Huh? Already they are self-governed, so they do not need law. They are self-governed. Plato. Good people. Plato. Good people do not need law. Bad people will find a way around the law. Many times, right below that, many times. Bad people or powerful people may misuse the law or may manipulate the law. नहीं ये हमारा interpretation. Plato was that course, right? Below that, many times it may happen bad people or powerful people may misuse the law or may manipulate the law in their own favor. May manipulate the law in their own favor. So a question arises among common people. So a question arises among the common people. Why should we follow the law? Why should we follow the law? So here you can give examples of that, Vijay Mallya, everything, or that SEBI 8,000 crore from poor people from not maintaining, not SEBI, public sector banks, 8,000 crore penalty was levied in the last 5 years for not maintaining minimum balance. And on the other hand, government is giving loan write-offs to the corporates. Government giving loan write-offs to the corporates. So why common people should also think, why should we keep repaying the loans? But right now after that, but nevertheless, law is significant, right? But or nevertheless, anyone. Nevertheless, law is significant because first, state has a continuous endeavor if you don't understand endeavor, write some different. Has a continuous state has a continuous motive or continuous process, continuous endeavor. Has a continuous endeavor of doing good and avoiding bad. Of doing good and avoiding bad. Not all bad people go unpunished. Not all bad people go unpunished. Most bad peoples are punished by the law. Go unpunished. Most bad people are punished by the law. Next, system of governance can't encourage lawlessness. Governance can't encourage lawlessness. Rather, it will encourage lawfulness. Otherwise, it may not be completely successful. It may not be completely successful. Be completely successful. System of governance may not be successful. That it means to say, if you want to write in a simple way, I'll reframe it. System of governance can't encourage lawlessness. If there is lawlessness, there can't be a system of governance. Lawfulness only will promote system of governance. Otherwise, there will be bad even in the society. Right? In a simpler way, if you don't understand the complicated language. See, intention when you're writing, you should also comprehend what has been written. So it will lessen your effort to mug up. Many people I am seeing, they are using phones while writing. Please don't use. It will reduce your span of attention. Otherwise, if you're able to multitask, well and good. People are gifted to multitask. They can do multiple things. It's up to you, but I'll just suggest that reducing span of attention, your attention deficit happens. Too much of screen time. Just if you're habituated or you can multitask, fine. I'm very much liberal. I won't take your phones or anything. Next, that law becomes the basis to take action. Law becomes the basis to take action. And punish people. Therefore, action becomes legitimate. Otherwise, state may lack legitimacy. Otherwise, state may lack legitimacy. Next, even if some people may not follow the law, it still works as a check and balance. It works as checks and balances on most of the people. It still works as a checks and balances for most of the people. Next, enforcement of laws and regulation. Enforcement of laws and rules. Last point. Enforcement of laws and rules will cultivate good habit. Shape a good character. And ultimately promote ethics in governance. So that you diagram you can draw here, that I have shown you this. Ultimately promote ethics in governance. See this also in briefly you can, significance of law, you can write this. Without, yes, that also you can connect. Hobbes. So this now natural law. What is natural law according to Thomas Aquinas? Yes. Yes, he interprets the human nature as a positive nature, that he says human nature by his nature is a very good person. He wants goodness in the society and avoids evil. That how he interprets human nature. You follow human nature, the laws will be good. That is, human should be. It also says it will promote a rational society and there will be ethics. So human, what natural to human is being a positive person. That is, if we also interpret it as promoting of human values, then it will be good. Abidance of law. Ethics. This is how he interprets. That is, he also says that humans should avoid evil, they should be truthful, they should be harmless, should speak the truth, show compassion. Being harmless, who said? One quality one thinker gave. Being harmless, being truthful. Kant. Yes, being harmless by truthful human nature. This is what he talks about human nature. So it has lots of field in the relevance. This Thomas Aquinas interpretation. Many times question may also come moral philosophy of Thomas Aquinas, as we have that chapter also, more subsection of moral thinkers. So in this you have to write on Thomas Aquinas. Most important contribution is he separated law from religion, that is ethics and religion. That way also you can interpret ethics and religion. So he also interprets conscience in terms of fear of God, character building. So if that also comes, you have to write this content only, but mold it properly. Okay, I think this is about Thomas Aquinas and law. So natural law you write down a bit, then we'll discuss conscience. He classified laws. Yes, it's not divine law. He totally rejects. There should not be divine law. So that is human law, na? Divine law, what revelation of God. He does not. He rejects it, but not in totality. He brings the state in between. State should govern the people. Before it was church rule. In the medieval period, church rule, pope rule. He rejects church rule and pope rule also, but he says there should be fear of God. Yes, divine law. Indirectly talks about divine law. Divine, but not in the sense that church or pope. God, the creator. We also say that Bhagavan said, Daro, that is also fear of God only. That should guide you. So natural law, right now not much to tell about natural law. Already many things have been discussed about human nature and everything. So write down that natural law. Law based on human nature. According to Thomas Aquinas. Natural law means avoidance of evil. And people should show good behavior. Avoidance of evil and people should show good behavior. That is, human nature is inherently about doing good. and avoiding evil. Inherently about doing good and avoiding evil. Natural law does not give the standards of ethics, but based on rational understanding, it can be interpreted that based on rational understanding, it can be interpreted that number one, humans should do good and avoid evil. Should do good and avoid evil. Humans should treat other humans. Number two, humans should treat other humans. With respect and dignity. Next, should speak the truth. Next, be non-harmful. Next, show compassion. Be non-harmful. And last is show compassion. Therefore, natural law talks about the essence of human behavior. Talks about the essence of human behavior. Which has a very powerful impact on human conduct. Impact on human conduct. It has taken as a last resort when everything fails. Yes. When everything fails. To encourage good behavior. When everything fails, to encourage good behavior. As many times it is said, at least show some humanity. As many times it is said, at least show some humanity. What is conscience now? What is conscience? What is conscience? अंदर का ज़मीर क्या है? Okay, I don't want translation. Define that. What is conscience? Wait, one by one. Discuss with me. Okay. अच्छा. Frame it different way. बताओ. Knowledge of that. Yes, same. Knowledge. So you have knowledge of good, right or wrong? Yes, still I have studied ethics. What's wrong with that? Very good linkages with wisdom. Very nice. हाँ? जोर से थोड़ा मुझे भी सुनाएंगे. Inner voice, अंदर की आवाज. What is rationality? Mix of both. Yes. Huh? Voice. Yes, many people got it right. Some also linked with thinkers. Very good. Yes, it is inner feeling of what is right or wrong. That is conscience. What a knowledge of inner knowledge of what is right or wrong. It is also called as a moral compass. A moral constitution. About knowledge of right or wrong. You understand what is compass or human intellect? You understand human moral compass? Compass पता है compass? Direction to where? नहीं compass क्या है? It's where but? North में point करता है ना? Compass points towards north. That magnetic field, yes, north में point करता है. Then you interpret clockwise. You go north, west, south, east. Magnetic field, I guess, north. One person I saw, he made a tattoo of compass on his hand or somewhere. How he knows that this is pointing towards north? Maybe he is having a magnetic needle in his hand. Very funny people of this country. So, moral compass, moral constitution, human intellect, that is another way of, if you want to represent this way. Define moral compass and conscience, and then represent this moral compass, moral constitution, knowledge of right or wrong, human intellect. I think better will be understanding of right or wrong. This way also you can represent. So what is inner feeling of what is right or wrong, of what is good or bad? That is conscience. Understood conscience? What is conscience? Inner feeling of what is good or bad. It is also is a moral compass, a moral constitution. Your understanding of right or wrong. That is all human intellect. Is conscience. Conscience formed with intellect only. Now, another question for you. How conscience is formed? Okay. It is not inborn. It is not inborn.
Nature and nature.
No, so can it be inborn? Human nature, inherent. Yes, यहाँ पे कुछ बता दो. Inborn conscience, how it's formed. कैसे तुम्हारे ज़मीर बना? Other way of putting it, okay? कैसे बना? कैसे बना? तुम्हारा बताओ कैसे बना? Yes, socialization, largely through process of socialization, conscience is formed. So faulty socialization, wrong conscience. That will be the criticism of conscience. Socialization will decide your conscience. Okay. We know that 4 stages. Lawrence Kohlberg. Remember? Huh? Then last stage is moral autonomy. That is Kantian stages. Moral autonomy, that is conscience has been developed. Also, Aristotle talks about wisdom. Nothing but conscience. Developing of highest form of conscience. Then Kant also. Immanuel Kant, you remember? Moral command, moral conscience, action, conscience. So that is conscience. About process of socialization. In general, conscience is very given importance in the society. We also say, many people say, listen to your inner voice, etc., to make rational decisions. But rational decisions will happen only if the process of socialization is right. Wrong conscience can also be there. Wrong moral compass can also be there. So that's why we have stressed many times how the process of socialization is very important. Okay? Huh? Not largely inborn. Kant says human nature is positive. So he interprets that way, but not largely inborn, is acquired through the process of socialization. Yes, but Jeremy Bentham क्या बोलते हैं? Hobbes क्या बोलते हैं? Negative nature. So that's why that is criticism also of Kant. We discuss. He interprets in a wrong way. Human can be also hedoist. He wants to seek pleasure. That what Jeremy Bentham and Mills talks about. Hedoism. Not Gandhi. Self-governance. Yes, positive nature he talks. Okay. So write down this much. After that, we'll discuss application. ये लिख लिया, बना लो या लिख लो. Now write down moral compass, moral constitution, understanding of right or wrong, and human intellect. Next week करते हैं. I'll give it for printing. Next week we'll do. Okay. Same time. Monday आना है तो Saturday आ जाओ. How many people want to come on Monday? Okay, we'll do on Saturday only. These people are not coming at least. Let them celebrate festivity. Human values are also important. Yes, so process of socialization. Conscience is about right now. Conscience is about the inner feeling of what is good or bad. Inner feeling of what is good or bad. It is a self-moral conduct of human behavior. The self-moral conduct of human behavior. And in answers after defining, make this box of this. Okay. Hope everyone has written all this. Develop now. Give heading development of conscience. Human is first born with the ability to logic and reason, rather than moral development. So conscience happens through the process of socialization. The process of socialization, through the process of socialization, as explained by Lawrence Kohlberg. As explained by Lawrence Kohlberg. The importance of human conscience. Has also been highlighted by various thinkers. The importance of human conscience has also been highlighted by various thinkers. Such as Aristotle, who talks about wisdom, such as Aristotle, who talks about wisdom. And Kant, who talks about categorical imperative. Or moral command. In fact, Kant, Kant is the most important philosopher who advocated for conscience-based decisions. In fact, Kant is the most important philosopher who advocated for conscience-based decision. In general, conscience is also being recognized by society. In general, conscience is also being recognized by the society. And most human behavior is guided by human conscience. So now what can be application for an individual? Application of conscience to an individual. Yes, whenever face ethical dilemma in real life, use conscience to guide your human behavior. That is conscience-based decision. Also, we also know many religion also talks about conscience. Jainism, what it talks about? Right? Knowledge, action, and faith. Indirectly talks about, yes, CAF, knowledge, action, faith, KFC. Very good. But don't eat too much KFC. Knowledge, action, faith, or knowledge, faith, and conduct. Conduct and action is the same only. Jainism. Also then Gautam Buddha, Nirvana, concept of enlightenment is what? Developing conscience to the highest level. That is application to individuals. Individuals follow Jainism, Buddhism teachings. They are following the path of conscience. Also, there should be a moral sense, should also be there. That is, people should have the independence to act per conscience, and they should be sensible to act per conscience. So there should be moral sense. People should have the sense of acting according to the conscience. We know how this is also connected with emotional intelligence. And you are getting, emotions are coming out. You are not regulating. So you won't be acting as per your conscience. Emotions will be better of you. That is regulating behavior. Moral conscience. Thus, people will develop the scientific temper if they get independence. Moral conscience, conscience-based decisions. Social sanctions should not be such a way that it hampers your moral sense and moral conscience. There should also be independence for conscience-based decisions. Otherwise, people will become gullible, easily swayed away. Godmen, you know godmens, through their oratory skills, they will capture your mind. No application of mind, not hearing to your voice of conscience. Baba ji ne bola ye karna hai to karna hai. Gullible people, easily swayed away. This is application to an individual level. What can it be application for civil services? You should have the independence to act as per your conscience. You should listen, you have the sense to listen to the conscience. So independence can be internal also, external also. Society also should give independence for acting as per conscience. And internal, you should regulate your behavior. So your behavior doesn't get better of you. You don't act as per conscience. Anger is a very strong emotion. People are not rational. That time the voice of conscience will go down. Okay. Fit of rage, etc. Don't listen to conscience. Now, application for civil services, what it can be? Connect with some other aspects which have been discussed in detail, you will be able to tell. Yes, be participative, tell here something. Yes. Attention कम नहीं हो रहा है ना? I observe you are on phone lot of times. Yes, बताओ. कैसे application, how it can be applicable to civil services? Civil services means bureaucracy. Civil services institution है ना? They act, execute policies. उनके लिए ये conscience कैसे apply? Conscience clear है? What is conscience? Inner feeling of good or bad. Okay, not good or bad. Inner feeling of understanding of good or bad.
Questions about humanity or following law.
Ethical dilemma. Listen to your inner voice. अरे इतना पढ़ा यार फिर भी not try also. It becomes of my failure. I am not able to explain them. This happens. If you have doubts, you ask that time only. Okay. Be regular, things will connect. You say yes, but you don't be regular. I know who are regular and who are not. Tell in more specific application to civil services. Framing policies. But frame it properly. The minister is telling wrong things, then you have to implement. That way, listen to your voice of conscience and act according to the civil services rules. That way, it should be framed. बता दिया था. Okay. Okay. Maybe your principles were that way, so no need to listen to conscience also. Maybe her principles were that way, so no need to listen to conscience also. No need to external voice or that only, no need to listen to internal voice. Another, if I frame it other way, why conscience is needed in civil services? Then what will be asked? Tell one or two only, not everyone will be asked, lot of time it will take. Why conscience is needed in civil services? Yes, very good. There is external checks are there, okay. External checks are there. What are the external checks on civil services? Yes, 5Cs also, and that is not very immediate checks are what? Conduct rules, I guess. Conduct rules. But many times we know there are a lot of loopholes, so they have discretionary powers also. So there is a need for internal check, self-check. So what is internal check then? Conscience. Conscience will act as an internal check. But very significant conscience. There are hundreds of rules and laws. Okay. There are many many tools that promote governance also. Many tools. Tell some tools which promote governance, citizen centricity, proactive citizenry. People are the rulers, not the bureaucrats. Yes, citizen charter, RTI, social audit. Yes. Despite having all this, has corruption decreased in the country? Then why so many laws, rules, regulation? Still, Transparency International. What is the rank of India? 93, 91. Some rank is there. Transparency International. When Modi ji gave a speech of demonetization, his introduction was Transparency International ranks India Corruption Perception Index so and so. He is also writing introduction, body, conclusion, giving a context. Maybe the bureaucrats are writing and giving. Yes, entire political science. Entire political science, na? Entire political science. MA in? MA in entire political science. Now, what is entire? Yes, in degree, his degree it is written MA in entire political science. Amit Shah ji showed that degree in press conference. He is MA in entire political science. MBA in entire Brahmand. MA in entire Brahmand. Okay, anyways, external checks, internal checks. So, internal checks, conscience will guide. So, there are hundreds of rules, regulations. Still, corruption is still not increased, still not decreased. So, absence of conscience. So, that is importance of conscience in civil services. Many regulatory agencies, big agency, executive agencies have given lot of discretion. SEBI, a classic case of SEBI, absence of conscience. ED, CBI, lot of discretion, but absence of conscience. Only targeting opposition leaders. Question has been raised in Supreme Court also. Supreme Court also found the conduct is not proper of these agencies. That's why conscience is very important in any society. How many rules he will make? He got hundreds of rules. Still no regulation. Quality of regulation is absent because absence of conscience. Even if there are very few rules and conscience is right, rules and laws won't be required. There won't be a web of law. Also, now you can connect Gandhiji here, Independence Day. Gandhiji talked about importance of conscience when he talks about self-governance. People should govern themselves. No one needs them to govern. There should be Swaraj. From within, you should govern yourself. Even civil services conduct rules, gives importance to conscience. When rules are not clear, make conscience-based decisions. This is application for civil services. Conscience. Things are clear about conscience, individual application, civil services application. See, it is very easy to understand and write. Another skill is required for answer writing. You should trim down to things what is been asked. Don't dump everything. Trimming should also, you should know. You need, have you practiced reading comprehension ever in your life? You will read entire comprehension, but answer is limited is required. So consider this discussion as a comprehension. Question you have to write 10 marks, 150 words. Conscience, I think we are writing how many? 600, 700 words. Yes. Emotional intelligence is needed that time also. You should not get swayed away by your emotions. I have understood other things very well, so I'll write that only very well. Check karna hai to karo, nahi to mat karo. Right? Understanding the question is IQ, writing the question is EQ. So right now application. First, individual, make this diagram. It can be helpful in for this use diagram for civil services. Okay, we don't make for individual. Individual also you can make external check. You write here law. Okay, don't write conduct rules. There are no conduct rules for a free individual. But better to make when application is related to civil services. Application to individual. Make while civil services. If you are making, make. Okay, no problem. This is for civil services. Okay, this diagram, not for individual. Application for civil services. Now we will be writing application for individual context, concept. हाँ कर दो पर ठीक है, but it has an indirect application, not a direct way. Okay. Law, you can also, civil servants are also bound to follow rules and regulations. Individual like makes decision. Makes decision guided by own constitution. Makes decision guided by own constitution. Own constitution, moral constitution. Individual. What's so funny? Makes a decision guided by his own constitution, that is conscience. When they face a dilemma, when they face by the conscience, wait, guided by own constitution, that is conscience. When they face a dilemma, have confidence in your comprehending skills also. Okay. Next word, concept of enlightenment, nirvana. Concept of enlightenment, nirvana. are associated with highest stage of development of human conscience. Highest stage of development of human conscience. Example in Jainism, knowledge, action and faith. Is emphasis on human conscience. Emphasis on human conscience. So next slide, people should also have moral independence. And moral sense. Sense, S-E-N-S-E. So that they are influenced by their own conscience. So that they are influenced by their own conscience and develop a scientific temper. Develop scientific temper. That is, they will not get easily carried away. They will not get easily carried away. Carried away and become gullible and docile. Become gullible and docile. You know, understand gullible, easily cheated, docile, not interested type. Now next slide, application to civil services. Draw, if any of you have not drawn this. Self-check is more important than external check. Self-check is more important than external check. Civil servants are custodians of the welfare of the people. Custodian for the welfare of the people. Civil servants are the custodian for the welfare of people. Even though there are hundreds of laws and rules, hundreds of laws and rules, and with the emergence of new tools, like RTI Citizen Charter, new tools such as RTI Citizen Charter, social audit, still the quality of governance has not improved. As laws has increased, and on the other hand, number of laws has increased. On the other hand, responsible behavior has decreased. Next point further, the conduct of various agencies such as SEBI, ED, CBI, has been questionable. Has been questionable. Although law can keep an external check on immoral behavior, but it is the conscience which is more effective, as it promotes self-check. That's why society and organization, that's why in society and organization there is emphasis on moral development. Gandhiji, yes, moral development. That's why society and organization, in society and organization there is more emphasis on moral development. While upbringing, society, etc., does become morally good person, good values you promote. Now, Gandhiji too emphasized on conscience. Gandhiji too emphasized on conscience. Gandhiji too means it comes this two emphasized on conscience. As he said, self-governance is the best form of governance. Now, next point. Self-governance is the best form of governance. Even civil services conduct rules. Even civil services conduct rules. Emphasizes on application of conscience when rules are not clear. When rules are to make most competent decisions. When rules are not clear, to make. Even civil services conduct rules also emphasizes on conscience when rules are not clear to make most competent decisions. Most competent decisions or most qualitative decisions or most rational decisions. Write anything you want. See, the Kolkata incidents also raise a question mark on the neutrality of the state. We also discussed for effective governance, good governance and ethical governance, state should remain neutral. This also that first investigation, police was saying that it's a suicide. Now different things are coming to light. Okay, we'll end there. And also Independence Day today. So Quit India movement, I guess. 1942. Gandhiji at Gwalior Tank Maidan gave a slogan, do or die. In one sweep, all leaders were arrested. This arrest, what happened? You know, before this, Muslim League was not that much popular. All Congress leaders were arrested, and Muslim League consolidated their base. So Muslim League became popular that time, and I guess many votes as elections also happened. I guess most Muslim votes Muslim League was able to garner, and this further gave fuel to the idea of Pakistan. Then after that, I guess World War II happened. Then British became bankrupt at the end of World War II. There were also political upsurges within the military also, INA revolt, bureaucracy, and bureaucracy shook the British Empire. Then they realized it's impossible to rule the Indians without their consent. See, bureaucracy, importance of bureaucracy. There was a revolt also in between. Yes, Indian Navy, but bureaucrats who also become loyal, they refused to fire also at protesters. The police was also there. So they realized that it's game over now. Then they started sending CR formula, Raj, Desi Liya pack. They tried to consolidate Muslim League and everything. Then Raja CR formula. Then Wavell plan, cabinet mission plan, at least statement, then Independence Act, freedom with partition, and freedom happened. Gandhiji was in Noakhali, where riots were happening, diffusing the riots, and Nehru made the tryst with destiny speech. Long years ago, we made a tryst with destiny. The time has come. We should take it, neither fully nor wholly, but substantially. The time comes rare in history when we move from old to new, when the soul of a nation, long strangled, finds utterance. So it's a duty on each one of us to wipe tear from every eye, at least wipe tear from some eyes. Okay, if not every eye. I talked about how it did. What he said, to achieve the dream of the greatest person in our century, Gandhi, to wipe tear from every eye. Also, he defined the relation. We are happy at that same time we are sorrow that brothers and sisters separated by political boundaries are not with us. But you remember, you of us and shall remain of us will be part of your joy and sorrow alike. Now, how many they have been part of, we also know what happened. Okay, that's it for today. We'll meet tomorrow.